fifth graders. So today we are beginning a new topic. It's called Topic 9, and it's all about division and fractions. Now, this lesson honestly should be a little bit familiar to you guys because when we were talking about fractions, when we were adding them, subtracting them, and multiplying them, we pretty much already talked about this. And basically, what we talked about is what this line stands for. And this should be familiar to you guys. What does that line in between the numerator and denominator stand for? That line stands for division. So we know that 1/5 is the same thing as 1 divided by 5. So what you can do, there's this little division sign. You can bring that over and drag it between your 1 and your 5. Just put a few spaces in between, okay? So hopefully you remember that concept that line stands for division, okay? Because the line between the 1 and the 5 stands for division. Kind of just what I said, okay? So every fraction is really just a mini division problem, okay? And we've been dealing with this for a while when we had mixed numbers and improper fractions, even when we were adding, subtracting, or multiplying them. Like, for example, you just took an assessment. If you have an improper fraction like this, what you did, I told you to set it up like a division problem, turn it back into a mixed number, okay? So we've been dealing with this and we've been seeing fractions as division problems for a little bit already. So this lesson should be a little bit of a review for you, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to write the following division problems as fractions. If it is an improper fraction, okay, just like I showed you here and just like we did in our test the other day, you always want to convert an improper fraction to a mixed number, okay? So what we have here are 4 division problems. And just like we are going to read the division problem from left to right, okay? And just like we were to read a fraction, we would read the fraction from top to bottom, okay? So we would read this fraction up here as 1/5 or 1 divided by 5. So this fraction right here is 5 divided by 9, which is 5 divided by 9. So you read left to right, up and down. So they go in the same order. 5 divided by 9, 5 divided by 9. So the next one, 8 divided by 30, 8 divided by 30, or 8/30. The next one would be 11 divided by 6, so we would write that as 11 divided by 6. However, that is improper. So we need to write it as a mixed number. Again, you can do this in your head, or you can set up a division problem, what we've been doing the past 2 topics. 11 divided by 6, 11 divided by 6. 6 goes into 11 once, you get 6. You subtract, you get 5, so your answer is 1 5/6. 1 whole and 5 out of 6. And the last one is 11 divided by 4. Or not 11. 18 divided by 4. So it would be 18 divided by, that line stands for division, 4. And again, it's improper, so we need to set up a little division problem. 18 divided by 4. 4 goes into 18 4 times to get 16. Subtract, you get 2. So your answer is 4 wholes and 2/4. However, we can simplify 2/4 into 1/2. Okay? So it's a little bit different seeing them written like division problems like this, but we've been doing this concept of fractions and division. We've been relating them as division problems for quite a bit. So this should seem familiar to you because it's something that we have been doing in the past 2 topics. We've been identifying fractions and division hand in hand to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers, okay? So what we are going to do now is we are going to look at a word problem and get a division problem from that word problem. So let's see. So this first problem, it says, if I said 6 friends are sharing 3 apples, how would you write that as a division problem? Okay, so it's important for this, you always start within division, okay, what you are starting with. The first number, okay, which is called the dividend, okay, this first number is the dividend. The dividend is what you are starting with. What are you sharing? What are you dividing? So in this problem, what are we starting with? What are we sharing? Are we sharing or starting with 6 friends or 3 apples? We're starting with 3 apples. We're going to share 3 apples. So 3 is what we're starting with. And we're splitting those 3 apples between 6 friends. So we're having 3 apples divided equally into 6 pieces. Okay, so the division problem will be 3 divided by 6. 3 apples divided by 6 people. Okay, now how will we write 3 divided by 6 as a fraction? Well, remember you read left to right, so you write top to bottom. So 3 divided by 6 is 3 divided by 6, 3/6. Okay, and in this case, we could simplify this as well. So each person will get 3/6 of an apple, or each person will just get half of an apple. All right. The next one, it says, what about 8 soccer players sharing 12 oranges? So for this problem, again, what is being shared? We have blank divided by blank. Okay. We have the dividend. And I didn't talk about this in the other one, but what is it called? We have the dividend is what we're starting with, what's being split. And the divisor tells us how many sections to split it into. So this is the divisor, okay? So what are we sharing in this instance? Are we sharing and splitting 8 soccer players or 12 oranges? We are starting with 12 oranges. And then we're dividing those 12 oranges among 8 soccer players. So 12 divided by 8, how will we write that as a fraction? It will be 12 divided by 8. But again, it's an improper fraction, so we need to convert it to a mixed number, okay? So by solving this problem, we're going to figure out, well, if we have 12 oranges and 8 soccer players, how many pieces of orange will each soccer player get? Well, they'll get 12/8, which is equivalent, if we did our division, 12 divided by 8. 8 goes into 12 once to get 8. You subtract and you get 4. So 1 whole and 4/8 each soccer player gets of an orange, but we know 4/8 can be simplified to a half. So each soccer player gets 1.5 oranges. All right. So basically what this topic is going over and reviewing is just how related and how equivalent basically fractions and division really are. They go hand in hand. A fraction, as I said here, is really just a mini division problem. And we've been seeing that the past few topics as well when we try to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers. So what you guys are going to complete after this is a Google slide that is going to have a couple practice problems for you. What you guys are going to need to do is you're going to need to convert some division problems into equivalent fractions. So how would you write that division problem as a fraction or as a mixed number? Okay, so if that's the case, make sure to put it into an improper fraction first, then convert it into a mixed number. And then you'll also be getting some scenarios, okay? And for these scenarios, it's really important to decide the first number in your division problem, the dividend, is what you're starting with, what you're sharing, Okay, so in this first example, they were starting with 3 apples and they're dividing them into 6 people, between 6 people. In this example, they are starting with 12 oranges and dividing it among 8 people. And if you think about that, the apples and the oranges need to come first because you can't split people, okay? You can't divide people into separate things, so you need to split the fruits into among the people, all right? So you're going to have a little practice with those on a Google slide. If you do have any questions, boys and girls, please let me know. And you can just email me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.